Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Ooh, that's feedback on your side there, Ashley. How are you this evening?
I'm very well, thanks. And you, Dylan? Not too sure why we're getting a lot of feedback. Maybe turn down the microphone on this side. But yeah, I'm very well, ready to go for the Alpha Tier race this evening.
So guys, we are round number 5 of our Japanese tour. We're at Zandvoort, and man oh man, have the guys been having a little bit of, I can't say issues, but definitely challenges with the sorry, as I'm seeing that, I've seen some of the comments going up and it's sidetracking me. Thanks, Peter Hardeman, you managed to catch me there. But the guys are saying that there was just so much time to be found on this track, and just one little mistake on an exit basically ruins that entire lap. The track is extremely technical. There are 15 corners on this track, lots and lots of nice twisty bits, changing direction from one to the next. And I'm actually really jealous I'm not racing this evening.
Yeah, Dylan, well, I don't know if, if I'm that excited to be racing myself. I did some practice with the guys, and yeah, I'm just so off the pace at the moment. But last minute adjustments, and I've managed to get a little bit closer. So we'll hopefully be driving in the midfield this race, but I need to put in a qualifying time. So if you don't mind, I'm going to get my qualifying done, and I'll let you know when we start rolling away.
So are you guys in the qualifying session?
We are in the qualifying session, yes.
That is fantastic, which means, guys, we're able... not add another letter there. Let's just redo that. I had everything set, and as I picked up the controller, I added another button, pushed the button, and it added another letter, so that just ruined that perfectly timed and perfectly planned intro. Let's see, so 8.5 minutes left of that qualifying, so we have got it nice and early. Brandon DeSantos on YouTube, he's got the first dibs on saying, how's it? Good luck, everybody, is his message. Peter Hardeman saying, go, Brandon, so we can see who he's cheering for. Gerard Foslo, he's saying, enjoy, guys, so he was here. And Peter Hardeman, which was the message that I was trying to read while I was doing my intro. Stephen, I see that you've joined me here. Just come back into the Discord. Just make sure that your voice is on and we should be able to hear you. Peter Hardeman saying that the intro tune is intense and it gets his blood pumping. Well, that's exactly why we're there. And he did apologize for the distraction that he gave me. Let's make sure that we go across to the arrow and reduce that. So there we go. Stephen, so please do come back into the Discord. Let's see if we are able to hear you. It is sometimes way easier to do the commentary when I have somebody that is able to just... Oh, somebody on the side there. So that little buzz that we've heard, that is Stephen Smith who has joined us. Stephen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a output for you, and I'm going to share it in the Discord so that you are able to see it.
Hello.
There we go, Stephen, you are loud and clear. So guys, Stephen Smith will be racing a little bit later on, so he has offered to just jump in and come and talk with me while we are racing, so please do send him your congratulations or your welcomes. So there you go, Stephen. Now you're able to see exactly what I'm seeing in live time on the Discord. As you can see, 14 drivers. Currently, Jacques racing out in front, 137 for him, 0.2. There's Paul Fenter, 0.4 off. Jakes is 0.7 off. Morris is 0.7 off. Then we've got Connor. He's 2 seconds off the pace there with Doopy, 5.7 seconds off the pace there. Stephen, your take on this track? Stephen, can you hear me? So we aren't hearing from... Oh, there we go. I can hear you now. Stephen, can you hear me? We are trying to just see if Stephen is able to hear me. Just let me know, guys. Just making sure that... Okay, so Stephen is so fast he doesn't need extra practice. So you guys are able to hear me at least. That's awesome.
There we go. I can see the stream.
Okay, so we are in. So the question I'd asked a little bit earlier, Stephen, what is your take on this track? Do you like it? Do you hate it? How do you feel about it?
The track is a tricky one. If everyone thought Zolder was a nightmare, this one extreme fire of them all. It's a very tricky track, very technical. About being fast and consistent is another story, but loving the track, I must say, it is a very technical track. I always love a technical track. I think with the Alpha Boys, I don't see them having a problem with this. Let's see who's gonna win this one. That's the big question, yeah. I know Morris is fast.
Well, we see that Jacques has gone a 136.9 and Morris is 0.1 off that time, so it is very, very close out in front there.
Yeah.
I must say that the first corner, that hairpin, is going to be very, very tricky.
Any technical track I enjoy, but there's a lot of guys that really don't like the track.
So that little section where you go through the hill, through the little windy bits, through turn 5, turn 6, then you've got that long sweep, that the right-hander, turn number 8.
Oh, man,
that turn number 9,
there.
I reckon that your lap time is made and lost at turn number 9 because you want to carry a lot of speed towards that hairpin at turn 10. But get it wrong and you hit that inside curb and you're going to find yourself off the track. So Jacques won a 36.7, so he's found extra time there between himself and Marius. Jakes is in 4th place, so he's 1 second off the pace there in his GTR. Then, a little surprise there for me, Connor, 5th place for him, 1.1. I'm very surprised to see Dion van Heerden so far down. And I see that we don't have Jason here this evening. I would have liked to have seen him throwing his Honda around the circuit. And in the just before we crossed live, we did hear Ashley just giving the drivers briefing to the drivers to say that the race is not won in the first corner, guys. Take it easy. You can just see how narrow this track is, and to get cars too wide is definitely scary around town. I personally would not recommend it.
Yeah, I think overtaking on this track is going to be a nightmare. There's like probably 2 or 3 spots that you can overtake, but other than that, you're going to have to stick behind him until he makes a mistake.
So I definitely think we've just seen Ronaldo going out of turn number 12 there. If you're able to get a good run coming out of 11, you're able to put yourself on the outside of 12, which then puts you up on the inside of 13. Is that something that you would try there, Stephen? Ooh, someone running off there, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, there's Connor in the front there. He's got that very wrong. You can see him up on the curb, so he's put himself back into the pits. So guys, we do have 1 minute left of this qualifying, and we do have our very own safety car in the pits. There he is in the Porsche. Chase, my son, starting his karting career this coming weekend. We've decided that we put him as our on-track spy, just so we can see what's happening in terms of the timing. And I see Memo, he's back from his business trip last week, so he missed out, but really good to see him back. And I'm sure that his teammate Marshall from the Chasing Beavers took a win last week, will be supporting his fellow driver. So guys, as we break away, you'll see that there's 2 minutes left of this qualifying. We are going to just jump to some of the highlights from Monday's race, which is what we did last week, and it completely confused you, Stephen, saying that there's something wrong with the stream, but it was all very strategically done so that we don't see the blue screen in the background. So guys, we're gonna get this going, and we will see you once the guys are rolling. We'll be back with you shortly.
Yes, it did.
So Stephen, I hope that's a little bit clearer there for you. So now you can see what's happening. That looks like it's an old shot.
Yes, yes, sir. I can see the replay now.
So Ashley, I know that you are behind us. Okay, so 1 minute 20 to go there, but we should be able to go.
Seconds.
In third position, we still have Gavin, and followed closely by Lendl. Morris, who had
20 seconds, Dylan.
Yep, thank you. I'm nearly there.
now to then trying to get past those the Ferrari of Lendl. And
10.
actually really quite honest, and
We're nearly there, we're nearly there. Just putting in the password.
so a good battle, a good race here from all the top drivers at the moment.
Feel the pressure
I can see it. It's sweating there, but
a little bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're rolling.
Thank you.
So not sure exactly what happened there, but also seeing that Jake's has dropped down. So it looks like those two might have come together, and
Okay.
that's put them right in the middle of the pack now.
So guys, we are rolling. We are seeing that there are information. They are coming around the last corner. So they will still need to be staying underneath that 70 kilometer an hour. They haven't quite got to the start finish line just yet. So we do have them in a formation. Let's just get the sound back. There we go. So there we go. So we are currently racing around a number 5. We've just jumped to Jake's, and it looks like he has a great, but just about 3 wide. The two Hondas closing up on Jake's. It looked like there might have been a touch there. Someone had gone off, but there's cars just sneaking past. It looks like the 2 green Mambas have been casualties there as they now start dropping down. And Marius got himself a drive-through penalty, so I wonder if he was speeding just a little bit. But
yeah,
now they
like he was.
head up this very, very tricky section, 5, 6, and 7. And you can see as the positions start adjusting, Morris down in 12th place. And Memo, he is in the pits, so I'm not sure whether there was some damage that he has done. But take a look at that. That is Ryan. He's in second place, so he's managed to get a great start with Jacques Racing out in front, starting to pull a gap away from the rest of the field. Paul Venter in second with Dion van Heerden. He's moving himself up the order.
Jacques has pulled a gap already. Looks like he's going to be quick on this track again. Boy.
So I'm not sure that the guys are going to be impressed with that start, but it just looked like the green numbers were just out of position there on that start, and it has allowed a lot of people to go past. And now we see Jake's peeling off into the pit, so I think he's going to go in and get this pit stop done nice and early. So Jakes follows him, Marius follows him, and I see Memo, he's still in the pit, so I don't know if he has made it in time to actually get started. But now we've got Dion van Heerden in a fourth place, and he's chasing Paul Venter, while out in front we have Ryan chasing down Jacques Racing. And it is so crazy to see how narrow this track is. It actually feels narrow from the outside of the track. Jakes has given himself a 30-second stop-go penalty. That is not what he would have wanted. Which means that not only does Marius need to go in and do a stop, but now Jakes will have to go in and stop for a full 30 seconds.
The green numbers are not having a nice tonight.
So just talking about the green numbers, we can have a quick view at what's happening in terms of the drivers' positions. So Jacques Racing, he's out in front with 180 points, and we have Jakes who's in second, 28 points behind him. But at this stage, it does look like this is going to be changing. Marius, he's in third place, 32 points behind Jakes on 120. Paul Venter, he's in fourth, with Jason, who was in fifth place, with Flip van Zyl in sixth, followed by his teammate Dion van Heerden. Then it is Connor, Ronaldo, Pete, Greg, Ryan, Duppy, Ashley, Memo, then Shane and Brett. So Ronaldo really putting some pressure on the back of our Australian international. That is a bad bull. So Brett's having to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to come racing with us. And he is part of the LNR development team.
So that is some dedication there, waking up so early just to come and race with us boys. Jeez, I would rather be in bed.
So having a look at some of the comments that have come through, Brandon DeSantos saying, Stephen is so fast that you don't need practice. Is this true, Stephen? Have you got this track waxed for the Bravo tier a little bit later on?
Oh, well, you know, I'm not going to give you any secrets away, but yeah, I am quick. I've been putting a lot of time on this track. I've only driven this track with the Formula Ones, but yes, with the cars that we are given today, it's not a Formula One. Let's put it like that.
100%.
But, yes, it is still going to be a fun race to have. These cars are quick on here. Even though the Bravo boys, they are there, quick, competitive, just as the Alpha boys. So it doesn't matter what group you're in, you're gonna have a race on your hand.
100%, and that's exactly it, guys. Is that it doesn't matter what level you're at. There's going to be somebody that you're going to be racing against. And I see Ronaldo, Peter Heidemann saying Ronaldo's running a fast number. And the reason being is he's running a 777, and that is actually Peter Heidemann's number as well. So once they actually get together and race on the the person who enters the first gets the 777. The one who's slower actually gets an 8 added, so it's going to be all up for them. Then I see JP Swat, he's joined us. He's saying, let's go Duppy. Team Chicken Wing is watching, and he says it looks like load shedding is going to stop Chicken Wing from finishing. That is extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, load shedding. Our lovely disease that we have in South Africa called load shedding.
So to those internationals who are not familiar with load shedding, it is basically the power supply people cut the power because they cannot keep up with the demand of electricity. But it's okay, because we don't pay for what we use when the power is off, because there is no power. But look at that. What a crazy, crazy shot. And that is, so at the moment we do have the 2 Eleanor drivers out in front, followed by a Sarge for the Chasing Beavers. I almost forgot about him, that he joined the Chasing Beavers. A little lock up there for him into turn number 4. And now they sweep through 5, then up through turn 6, around turn number 7. And this is one of the most interesting corners that you can carry a lot of speed, but if you run wide, you can see how that corner right at the end just tightens up on you. And if you're not paying attention, it does kick you out on the side. But he is putting a lot of pressure on the back of that Honda of Rainmaster. But out in front, Jacques, 8 seconds clear of his teammate. So he has absolutely got this race under control.
He's flying tonight. He's not taking any prisoners. He's taking it all away. He's on another level yet tonight. Crazy.
So to the Bravo drivers, just about 6 minutes left, and that server will be reset. So Stephen, I do understand if you're not able to chat to us for the entirety, you want to go and get some laps in.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my power to come back on. So we are still in the middle of load shedding.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, load shedding is putting me under pressure, not any of the drivers. Load shedding.
So talking about adding salt to the wounds. Here I'm saying, if you want to go and practice, meanwhile, you ain't got a choice.
Yeah, I don't have much of a choice now, do I?
So I'm just catching up with this battle here, and I am extremely impressed with the performance Sarge is putting on here. He is really keeping Paul Fenter extremely honest. And I saw a little blue flag being waved there. I wonder whether that was for Paul to say, move, get out the way, get out the way.
It's weird because this happened last week also in the Bravo race, if I was correct. And that didn't make sense. I don't know if there's like a game glitch or what, because these are still the front runners. So I don't know who's or why the blue flag is even being waved. It doesn't make sense.
So it is extremely interesting to see that one GTR out in front, followed by 3 Hondas, then a Lexus, then 3 Nissan. So it seems like the Lexus is there all by himself for Dion van Heerden. But man, oh man, what a crazy battle that is currently happening here between Paul Fenter and Sarge. I do want to just jump down because there is a very, very closely contested little battle happening here. And this is from Dion van Heerden, who's in 5th place. There he is in the Lexus, followed by Brett, Ronaldo, and then Ashley. So these 4 drivers separated by just about 2 seconds. That is how competitive it is. And I'll tell you something, if I was Ronaldo, I would be feeling extremely claustrophobic.
If I was Ronaldo, I think I would have put it by now. Just to get this out of the way. Because like right now, playing him on traffic. Yeah, he's pushing hard. He's overheating those tires. So decision.
Yeah, it does look like Ronaldo may be the quicker of the two here, because it does look like he is really leaving those the braking points very late between himself and Brett. And Ashley in the background there, you can see that he's also trying to find a way around. But Ronaldo now having a look to the outside. Will he get himself on the inside? And this is the corner I was talking about, around the outside of 12 into 13. But not able to make a move there. But that is extremely close there for this battle. And this is down in 6th, 7th and 8th position. Absolutely incredible.
That's right. Yeah, we can't leave Ash out of this. He's not a slow boy, yeah. So he'll be waiting his turn. Maybe.
Oh!
I see a little bit of contact. Oh, that was a bit unfortunate there.
Yeah, that all happened way too quickly for the game to keep up there. It looked like Ronaldo and Brett touched, and in the background we heard Ashley's despair. It looks like that he collected the two of them. So very unfortunate, and you can just hear the sighs of Ashley happening now. Sorry, man, Ashley.
Unlucky.
But that is the problem with us driving on international servers, is you all look like there's enough space, and just at that last moment all of a sudden the car's in front of you. So I'm pretty sure that, but if the guys do come back and they see that stream, that it doesn't look like that was anybody's fault. That was definitely a lag bubble. Very unfortunate. But Paul Fenter still fighting with Ryan.
Yeah, Alex came fourth. Doing quite well tonight.
So there's Connor in the very, very SARCO inspired colors. I absolutely love it. And the reason I say that,
SARCO is more blue, not purple.
that is the official SARCO safety car. So the colors that Connor's got are just about spot on.
In 9th, so he's also very, very close up there.
Right, guys, to the Bravo tier, if you are watching, that server has now been reset, so you are able to get yourself in there, and we will be sending Chase over there in a couple of moments to just come and see what's happening there, so we're able to just keep track of the time. But don't forget to keep your YouTube on so you aren't missing any of this incredible action here. Ooh, as we jumped there, we saw Paul Fenter taking a lot of that inside curb, and that is such a tricky corner because you have carried so much speed there coming out of turn number 11. But now they will head into turn number 15. So that last corner, Stephen, have you been able to get that car flat as both Paul and Sarge run a little bit wide?
Yes, that corner is very tricky. If you come out a little bit too wide, you will touch the grass. You have to get off the throttle. But there are a couple of laps that I have been full throttle around there. But you've got to hug that corner so nicely and treat it with so much respect. Because if you don't, it puts you out.
You know, what I found is that I was staying very, very late on that turn in. Then turning in and having a very late apex, and what that would do, it will just help that front end just keep turning in. But I did find that in the little practice session that I had, is that front left start taking a little bit of strain through there.
Yeah, that front left is going to take punishment today. So if you don't have your tire pressures right, that tire is not gonna last. It's not gonna be the happiest spot on the track, and it is gonna bite you in the rear end, because when those tires start getting a little bit red, yeah, it doesn't matter who sets up or what setup you have, the car will be horrible.
So guys, we jump to Flip Van Zyl. He's in 7th place in the Lexus, car number 118, and he's chasing down Ashley. Ashley in 6th place. We did see there was the little mistake there between whether it was Ronaldo, Brett, or Ashley in terms of that lag bubble and who it was caused. Just looking at Ronaldo, a 30-second stop and go penalty there for him.
You also get, oh, geez, not enough for the boys.
So I am quite interested to see that Morris down in 9th place. He has come out ahead of Brett. So Morris is currently the highest of the pit drivers. Apologies. There's Jake, so he's actually ahead there as well. But now we see that Connor's gone into the pits, and he does look like he is exited, but is he ahead of Morris? That is going to be a very interesting view. So a Duppy in 8th place, so he's gone in as well. See JP is shouting for Uncle Duppy, saying Uncle Duppy moving on. Great shot there of the chase safety car. So I'm just reading a message on the Discord to say that the server seems to be stuck. The guys are stuck and no one is able to leave the pits. So I'm pretty sure that we will be able to get that sorted for you guys. But look at this battle, Stephen. So Morris is just want to see where Morris is. So he's now heading down the back of the circuit, so he is now going through oh, there we go, the map was slightly off there. Yes, I just need to turn this so that that is now in line. There we go. Okay, there we go. So the server is working, so everything is 100% there. That is absolutely fantastic to hear. Thank you, Brandon. So now Morris is going through turn number 13, and that's Connor, so he's now gone into turn number 1, so that's just about half a lap is the difference between Connor, and we know that Connor was up in 4th place to Morris, so there is quite a substantial gap there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Sarge on the inside at turn number 11, and Paul was on the outside line. So Sarge is really making this Honda work here this evening. Really, really awesome to see him fighting up in the top there.
Very close. This is still by race. Yeah, it's who's gonna put first.
Yeah, the thing is that for me, I like to go, or is that Paul Fenter, so he's decided that now's the time to go into the pits. So now this can be a very interesting. How cautious is Paul on the pits? Does he hit that stop just perfect? That is all the questions that he's going to be thinking about as he crosses, we see Dion van Heerden cross the line, and we got Lucindy saying, go Dion. So lucky to have you watching with us there, Lucindy. So Dion now will be promoted up into 4th place. So here comes Paul, the Raidmeister. He exiting out of the pits, and we've got Connor right there by him. And Connor's now gone ahead. That is absolutely incredible. So Connor is now essentially ahead of Paul after those pits. And I wonder whether that fighting with Sarge has cost him the time, because now Paul is behind Connor.
So technically Connor is in second place.
That is correct. So there's that confirmation. You can see Paul 1.7 seconds, but where does Sarge come out once he's pitted? That's what we're going to be looking for.
That is the question everyone is asking. When is Sarge going to pit? Is he going to leave it till that last lap of the race? I think that's dodgy to do that, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason being is if you get it wrong. So here we go. So Sarge has decided, let's hit the pits.
Oh, there we go. He's Connor going to overtake him there again. Well, it looks like
So lots and lots of drivers are entering into the pits now. So there goes Sarge into his box. Oh, very lucky that he did overshoot it a bit. It doesn't look like that car's lifted.
He's right there.
So Sarge has lost some places to not only Connor but Paul as well, because Sarge is still in the pits, and I'm sure that he must be absolutely irritated, because now Sarge is only exiting and he's going to find himself behind Dion, Flip, Connor and Paul. Oh, that was Connor on the side of the road. Both looked like him and Rainmaster had it coming together. You can see Paul slowing down, allowing Connor to go ahead of him.
Now that is called sportsmanship.
And
Waiting. You made the mistake. You wait for the driver. That is how it is done. Don't care how fast you are. You make the balls up. You need to wait and give the position back. That is the right thing to do.
100%.
I take my hat off. I take my hat off to Paul.
But you know what that now does, Stephen? That means that Dion van Heerden is technically in second place behind Jacques, because we know that that Ashley still needs to pit. So does Jacques, but Jacques did have about a 14-second lead. So he is quite convincingly out in front.
Jock could put any time and he'll still keep his first place. So he's so consistent on any track. He's, well, like I said, he's a machine.
Or did I get that wrong? Because there are just so many cars. You can see at the bottom section of the track, that long train of cars, and that's starting from car number 2, which is Connor. So it is Connor, Paul, Dion, Flip van Sale, Ryan, Marius.
Oh, what a train! Oh my goodness, this is gonna be a race. I'm sorry.
So
It's not over yet.
no.
It's not over yet.
And the thing is that we're talking from a 3rd place down to 8th place. We're all on the same start-finish straight. This race is far from done.
No, it's only beginning, and there's still 20 minutes left of this race.
Just look at how close those cars are.
Man, I've got goosebumps running down my arms right now.
And there's the battle for Connor, who's technically in 2nd place, but then 2 seconds behind him is Paul. Then it is Dion, so that was Ronaldo, who's currently in 12th place, but just look how close it is between Dion. For instance, Marius made a move up on the inside of Ryan. He's made that move stick, and that was going into turn number 9. And now it is Dion, Marius, and Flip van Sale. So Marius now is going to have a look on the inside into turn 12. Sarge is on the outside. That was the move I was saying that he could possibly do.
Yes.
But Ryan was way too cautious there. I honestly would have just kept my line, held it, and I'm pretty sure that Marius would have had to go the long way around. But that was absolutely fantastic. Great driving there by all 4 of the drivers. And Morris now on a comeback trigger. He got the drive coming out of turn number 15. He's now pulled himself alongside
Morris
the
going on the
Lexus, just about touching. Morris is on the outside. They're going to look to the inside. Dion holds his line. Morris tries to go around the outside, but you can just see that not able to make that move stick is Morris. So he does unfortunately have to drop back in.
But Morris is still looking. He's still looking.
Morris trying a little undercut there. Morris is still looking for a way around, and while he is fighting Dion van Heerden, he's got Ryan the Sarge right behind him. And I can see what's happening with these three battling out is that Flip van Zyl, he's just opening a little bit of a gap between them. And Paul Venter is still fighting with Connor. Oh, little kick of the rear as he got into the power. So now they head into turns 12 and into turn 13. But Morris is side by side with a Sarge again. Now into turn 12. Is he going to hold that line? No, he doesn't. He decides to rather take the later exit.
Let's see if Morris is going to get the drive out of the corner and maybe take a lunge. Dion, yeah. That is.
Oh, that was Connor. That was Connor on the side of the track.
Did he just lose it by himself? He must have.
He must have, because that's Connor now at the back of this battle. And that's released Paul out in front.
And look at that, Ash and Jar have all pitted. So Ash is now second. What's that, 21 second gap there?
So I think at that time, once they go through the split, those times will reset. So there we go. So that is now 4 positions. So there's Ashley in 3rd place with Flip van Zyl in 4th, fighting for Ashley. So with all the guys battling and fighting it out, Ashley with not pitting, you see Dion Flip van Zyl giving him a flash, still thinking that he might be a back marker. But Ashley not going to just give up that place that easily. But look here what's happening in the back there. These 4 are now still battling. And Dion van Heerden 2.5 seconds away from his teammate. Just look at how closely congested those cars are. Looking at the track map on the side. That is them heading now into turn 12 and 13.
Ashley, come on. Come on, Ashley.
And here Ashley cheering himself on. Oh, that might have been a little nudge on the back of Sarge and Marius. So there's Ashley now recomposing himself. Just look at how close these guys are. 15.5 minutes and some change. We'll give you a couple of chappies to go in this race. And man, oh man.
So Ash is in 3rd place.
Then it is Flip van Zyl in 4th.
Flip is right behind him.
That's it. These 2 here are fighting for position. That is Flip van Zyl fighting against Ashley. Then we have Flip's teammate Dion van Heerden battling it out with Marius, who has Sarge and Connor right behind him. So there is a yellow flag. Looks like somebody is off. I think that was Brett, if I'm not mistaken. Cameraman Tim getting a little bit confused there. Indeed, that's is he stuck on the curb? That looks like that Brett is stuck on the curb. He can't get that car. I can see that those rear wheels are spinning.
Thanks, bud.
I wonder.
So that is a retirement there for Brett. That is most unfortunate.
It is crazy. I would love to know what actually happened there. Because you could see his back wheels were spinning, but he wasn't.
Morris is wide into, what's that, Turn number 13. Where does Morris go? Where does Morris go? Oh!
Oh.
We didn't quite see what happened there.
Yeah.
But Morris, a big off there. I'm trying to find Morris. That's Morris now going back into the pits.
That was a bit unfortunate. Arias. We obviously can see what happened there, but it looks like he's Arias not with us.
So I'm going to check in with our race leader out in front. You can just see the gap between himself and car number 42. Paul Fenter only going through turn number 11 now, while Jacques Racing going into turn number 1. Then Paul has a 3-second gap between himself and Ashley, who's in third. Then a Flip Van Sale, he's in fourth.
Right there.
So it is very close, but this is the battle that is continuing between Ryan and Connor.
Connor is still got damage on his top. I think he's got a bit of damage on his top. He's slower now. Still over the metal. It's very interesting. That was a little bit of a mistake there. He's kind of a bit of a breather. It looks like he's got a better drive out of the corner there. Putting some pressure on Connor.
So Stephen, I'm just taking our spy car and just going to go put him into the Bartlett here, just so we can see how they're doing.
Sorry, I'm also heading my way there. I have got power, so I am heading that way with my beautiful new colors of my car.
So this battle is still Ryan versus Connor.
Connor, yeah.
And yeah, that is Ronaldo that's at the back there, but he is a lap down. But it does sound like Ashley is sweating just a little bit, because this is Flip Van Sale, who's making Ashley's life very, very difficult.
Oh, man. Giving Ash his own medicine back that he gives everyone in our project class. So, Ash, suck it up. I'm sure you can get through this. You can't throw this away. Oh dear.
So just cutting back to the battle between Ryan and Connor. 0.6 of a second is that gap. And now into turn number 4. We're going to start heading back up over the hill, and this little left, now right.
It is still 5.5 minutes for a Bravo. Very fast, I must say. Practice. I think it's taking a lot. Yeah. Ooh. Ash and Flip. Did Flip get the move?
So
yeah.
there is the move that Flip has been waiting for. It was a slight little error by Ashley going a little bit too deep. Flip got himself on the inside and managed to take that position. So now it is a time for...
Ooh,
Flip gets a kick of the rear, and Ashley's going to be on the inside.
Oh, yes.
going into turn number 14.
driven.
What a move, what a comeback.
You don't give up racing. You carry on racing. The race is not done until that second place.
So in shot is Jake's number 14 for the Green Mambas. He is now coming out of the last corner. He went and pitted nice and early, did get himself a 30-second stop and go penalty. And here he is finding himself in 8th place. But this is currently the battle for the last position on the podium.
And I don't think anyone's giving up on this position. The Flip and Zell might equip. Well, what's that? Lexus? Is he in a Lexus?
That is the
Yeah,
Lexus.
he's in a Lexus. He looks pretty quick in that Lexus. But he's got a better drive out of the corners than Ash.
Oh, Ash is wide. Flip has got a better line there, so now can Flip cut back on a tighter exit here, get the toe down into 11 and 12, 12 and 13, get the car on the inside, and then set himself for a possible overtake. Yo, that was very late on the brakes there.
Yeah.
But I do think that
Gonna eat him there.
very, very
that's a lot
calculated.
to
So now out of turn number 14, this is where a Flip has a good chance to just get a good exit here, get the toe down the start finish line, and prep a overtake into turn number 1. But it doesn't look like he's close enough.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, that was one too far down. The battle of the Hondas between Connor and Sarge. Connor is wide, which allows Sarge to go around the outside. So Sarge now moves himself up into 5th place. Connor's now down into 6th.
You don't have to do much. It's just pressure. And it looks like that's a little bit under pressure there. Look, he lost the rear end a little bit there, coming out of the corner. Getting too soon on the stopper, but a little bit of a...
Yeah, it looked like that car understeered and it pushed him wide and just wasn't able to get the power down again.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and Ash is still bit out of 3rd place. The Rainmaster is out. Quite a bit of gap on them.
8.6 seconds, but remember these two are fighting it out. Ash is watching that rearview mirror, putting his car in all the wrong places for Flip.
That's what I told you when that update came. Nissan rear end just became a lot bigger. Yes, to overtake a Nissan is a little bit impossible, but you know what? With these guys today, nothing is impossible. Doesn't matter how wide you make your car. If there's an opportunity, trust me, the guys are gonna take it.
So we do see that Jakes has now got himself right up on the back of Dion van Heerden. So this would be a position. So Jakes getting a bit of a toe. Will Jakes move to the extreme inside? He decides to rather cut back to the outside. Dion holds that inside line. Jakes is a lot tighter and he does manage to sneak up on the inside there. So Jake's now up into a 7th place, and that puts Dion down into 8th. Let's jump back to his teammates. Cameraman Tim very confused there for a second. But this is the battle for 3rd and 4th place. And Flip just not able to find a way around Ashley. And that is just one of the most frustrating things, is just not finding that gap.
There's a few places that you can make a move, but other than that, you have to wait for a mistake to happen.
I'm actually pretty sure that Ashley can't hear us. I think while we can hear him, is that the headset that would be running that sound is probably thrown out the window. So our race leader, Jacques Racing, has had an absolute flawless battle. Ooh, is he slowing down for Paul to have a little bit of a 1-2 across the line? Because there's the two LNR drivers. You can hear how slow Jacques was going.
Is he going to give Paul a win yet? Is this going to be a tactical move for LNR Logistics team to bring them closer as a 1 and 2 over the championship?
Well, I can tell you something, that the points for the overall in terms of the team standings, is that the Green Numbers were only 26 points behind the Logistical Nightmare Racing. After this event, that gap is going to be a lot bigger.
No, that's different. It's gone out the window.
So it does look like Flip is starting to just lose a little bit of ground. But now, is that Ryan in the background? Has he caught these two? So that is Ryan. So he's actually caught up to a second and third place. So guys, we've still got a battle on here. It's now, so we've effectively got 2 more laps. Ryan has been absolutely flying through here, and he's got himself in 5th place, but right up behind, just 1.5 seconds between himself and Flip Van Sale. And there's your 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. So this is not over.
No, it's far from over. The race is only really starting once you've done your pit stop. So that's when everything comes along.
So you can see Flip is now within 1.1 second of Ashley, but then Orion is almost within that second of Flip, and it does look like that Honda is doing much better times around this track at this stage. No! Ryan making a little bit of a mistake there. That rear just letting go. So I do think that is all she wrote. I don't think Ryan's going to be able to close up that gap. Let's just see where. So Jacques is now coming through turn number 13. So there was definitely some team orders there to tell Jacques out in front, slow down, let your teammate catch up to you, and then make it a 1-2 photo finish. So there's the confirmation. This is now the final lap.
Is Rainmaster is in the one? That is the question we're all asking.
Yeah, that is quite an interesting one. But only time will tell. But what we want to see is what is the end result out of this battle, because Flip Van Sal has got within half a second of Ashley, is right behind him as he exits back up over the hill. Now they'll dip down into turn number 6, then back up to turn number 7. And we saw where Ryan's rear just let go there. And if it had held, just coming through this hairpin corner, this turn number 10, the Honda has looked really, really good there. You can see how wide Ashley goes, and look at that tighter line that both Flip Van Sal and Ryan were taking in the background there. So this is all she wrote, and Flip touches that outside wall. Is Ryan going to get past him? Yes, he does. So that is extremely disappointing there for Flip Van Zyl. He was in 4th place. Mistake there, looking for an opportunity to get around Ashley into turn number 11. Kick of the rear pushes him outside the track limits, and he unfortunately is now down in 5th place. That is very, very unfortunate. So that is the confirmation. The two Eleanor Logistical and Nightmare Racing out in front. Paul 2nd place. Then Ashley a very well contested 3rd. Sarge comes home in 4th place, and man oh man did he have to fight for that. Flip themselves in 5th. Jakes will come home in 6th, just ahead of Connor. Look how close that was. Connor in 7th place. Dion van Heerden in 8th. Duppy, a very quiet race there for him. He's in 9th place. Ronaldo in 10th. Brett, he is 6 laps down. And then a memo on track saying that his gears weren't working. So that's very unfortunate for him, but he will come home in a 12th position.
Okay, well, I'm going to start getting ready for my race now. Let's have a wonderful time.
So,
I'm starting right now.
Awesome. Stephen, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for joining me. It was an absolute pleasure having you. Guys, while we are getting set up and ready for the driver's briefing, we're just going to jump to... They are qualifying in the background there. So we are just going to show you some of the highlights from the Monday night's race. And we will be with you shortly. Let's just get that back up and running. I'm not sure where it went. I might have just hit the button by accident and shut it off. Stand by. Ashley will be with you now.
Some sort of internet issues out there in George this evening. Just to get ready and sync up, and this race will be underway.
I just hope that our Bravotier was able to take a little bit of the Alpha Tier's book and nice and cautious into turn number 1. Taking it nice and easy, but let's see. So it is a lights out, and we are racing here at Oschersleben A, and Ross has got a great start, but a little bit of a tank stopper there, so he had to just control it. But Brandon's up into 2nd place, so he's side by side with Rudy as the guys already start braking, going into a 90-degree turn number 1. It is absolutely crazy whoever designed that and thought that that was a good idea. That looked like Terry getting a little bit wide, and that is Ross and Rudy as they start dropping down the order, which has released Rockstar Mel out in front with Brandon and Louis in the 3rd place. Then Pete is into 4th with Donovan 5th. Then Raf is in 6th place. Robert, Dane, Rudy, Ross, and then Terry. And
so a messy start there in the beginning from a couple of the drivers, but Maljark avoiding all the, Rockstar Mal avoiding all the contacts and managed to really pull out a 2.5 gap from Brandon DeSantos in 2nd position at the moment. And follow closely, we have Louis, who's actually doing really well and really improved over the last couple of races in this Bravotier.
Yeah, what I was going to mention earlier is Ross has said that this has probably been his worst season with SARCO, and Ross was one of the guys that was with us from the inception, and you can just imagine how bad that is. Ross just hasn't had a break. He has been overdriving the car finds himself in really good positions early on, and then lands up bidding it. So I'm sure Ross will be very happy that there is only one more race left of this season before we close off, as Brandon gets very, very sideways, loses his momentum.
Yeah, I was quite surprised to when I came out the pits. I was ahead of, well, just ahead of him because I managed to get to the corner just before he did, and then I started to open up a gap, and then I made quite a few errors, and that's probably when you heard me. I totally forgot that the mic was on. And then I realized I was in third position, and I think that's also when the pressure, uh, it got to me a little bit as well. And I thought, oh, geez, there's actually a chance of getting a podium here. And I was just watching Flip in the mirrors. You would catch me, and then you would make a mistake, and then you would catch me, and then it would be side by side. And then at one point you got past, and then I got past him. It was an epic battle. So yeah, that was probably one of the toughest races that I've ever participated in. And first, I would like to apologize to Ronaldo and Brett. Earlier, I was in the race. I missed a braking point, and I bumped them, and they unfortunately both of them went off in the first corner. So if it wasn't for me for that, I don't know where I would have finished. I'm sure Ronaldo would have been way up and possibly would have got a podium as well, because he was much quicker than I was. So a big apology to those guys.
Yeah, man. Geez, the start was quite surprising because I saw Marius fell way back, and then I knew when he caught up, all of a sudden I was like, oh, here comes a drive-through, and as the light goes green, he gets a drive-through. So with that going into the first corner, I thought, well, I'm just going to break that tad earlier, just make sure we get in, stick to the inside line, and don't know what happened. I had a mamba up my back end, and I stepped on the accelerator and the brake to try and not hit Jacques and Marius and take them out. So that was quite a little bit of a wake-up call there. And then I was fighting with Ash. Was with you? I think it was with you. It was you or Sarge. One of the two of you. Jeez, you guys kept me busy. Yes. Because my rear end was so loose then, it was just more sideways and straight. And took the pit stop and then came out, and then was it Connor, or I see on the stream on the game his name's Adil. So 80 was so and then had a nice battle with him, and then at the hairpin, I assume it's just he went slower than I expected because I wanted to try and get the run on him out, and then he braked more than I expected, and I just rammed. I placed the upper Honda and tried to make a 2.0 Honda, and that didn't work so great. So
you made it VTEC.
Felt really bad about that. So waited for him to pass so we can try again. And then, unlucky. He got a spin out the second last corner, and I thought he was going to catch it, and then I thought he was going to spin to the inside, and then as Lady Luck would have it, he'd spin to the outside, and I T-boned him, and I was like, well, that's it, done. I'm just going to keep on going. Had about 10 seconds worth of damage, and then from there just kind of nursed it home. And I saw at some point I pulled away from from Ash and them, because he was like 3 seconds behind when he came out the pit. So yeah, then just kind of kept it together and finished the race. That was it. So again, another second spot. So well done to Ash and Jacques. I mean, there we go. Eleanor 1-2 again. Mambas, I don't know. We might need to send them some antidepressants, make them feel a bit better after today. That was a bad one.
Don't worry, there's going to be a board meeting nice and early tomorrow. No, guys, I'm only kidding. So, Jacques, a really good race for you out in front, and kind of just ran away with it. And then were there some team orders, some sponsor opportunities, and say, please just slow down. Let's get some pictures of the cars together.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we planned. Yeah, I mean, start of the race, I just made sure to get away from Marius. Like Paul said, Mambas just didn't have a good race from the beginning, and so since then I've just moved forward. Didn't really come across any incidents with myself or anything, so it was a very quiet race. It was more eventful behind me with Paul and third, fourth, and fifth. So
at one point,
yeah, man,
at one point, Jacques, we had second through to eighth place, all on the start-finish straight. That is how close the battle behind you actually was.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I knew Paul was in a fight, but I didn't know it was that crazy. So well done to Paul for defending that position, and yeah, first and second for Eleanor, and well done to Ash for his third place. That's
100%.
good.
Guys, thank you so much. We do see that clock is just about running down on the Bravo tier, so we will be crossing over there shortly. Guys, thank you so much. Really great to see.
Cool.
And Eleanor 1 and 2, so be it. At no point have I ever not said I'm biased to the Mambas.
Yeah, we believe you. We believe you.
Right,
Cheers,
guys.
Dylan.
Cheers, thank you so
Cheers,
much.
guys.
Cheers, guys. So, guys, that time is just about done. The qualifying is officially over there. But man, oh man, what a crazy race. Just so many positions changing in that race. It was absolutely incredible to see. Really looking forward to seeing what's happened here in the Bravo tier. Guys, just drop us your comments. Let us know who you think the driver of that race was. Some crazy overtake maneuvers. Really good to hear. Brett saying that you can't hear me. I hope you can, because I am seeing my volumes are going up and down. Member was saying that his gears weren't working, but I'm glad that he did manage to get out there. Brandon DeSantos saying, well done, guys. Close racing by everyone. And let's go Bravo. So they should be starting soon. I do have my little a timer up there. So while we are waiting for that clock to run down, let's just catch up with lap number 2 of our Monday night race, and we'll be with you shortly.
Just whack the stream out there, Minister.
Pace a bit there.
No, absolutely. Good racing and giving each other enough room there, not driving to the side of each other. So in all, good racing from those two drivers. I'm just going down back to the pack now, and I see Dane, and it looks like is it Rolf?
That's Raf.
Raf, sorry, my apologies, Raf. So Raf and Dane there having a good battle in the mid pack of this province here. Looks like he goes a little bit wide there.
And I see Don is the first of the drivers to get a time penalty. And in the background there comes Rudy in that Camaro, starting to close up on the back of Raf in 7th, 8th, the back of Dane in 8th place.
Yeah, that looks like Don. Oh, he goes a bit wide there.
That's Robert.
Yeah, so Robert. That's Robert now going a little bit wide there. And he was having a good battle here with Donovan, but with that small mistake that set him back a little bit and
Dylan, can you hear me?
cost him a bit of time. But nevertheless, still in 6th position at the moment. Don in 5th position. In front of him, Sly Pitt, who's managed to hold on to that 4th position. And that looks like Terry having an absolute nightmare of a race, getting lapped there by the front runners, and now starting to be lapped by the mid-pack.
Is that not Brandon? Because if you look at the positions, there's Terry on his own, so it is Brandon. Alright guys, so we have managed to catch them as they start heading up towards the start-finish line. This is the Bravo tier. So that is green light, and we are racing here at Zandvoort for the 2nd time this evening. Just making sure we do have the right tag, as we've got Stephen moving up onto the inside with to Alexis is just about touching. But Marshall on the outside there in the AlphaTauri colours. He's done well in 4th place. In shot is Ethan in 5th. He was waiting for his power to come back with a bated breath. But out in front, that is a Sheldon with Stephen. No, it's not. It is Stephen who's out in front with Sheldon in 2nd place, followed by Brandon DeSantos. Then it is Marshall, Ethan, Stefan, Johan, Adrian Bond, Robert, then it is Neil, and our pit car not currently in the race.
Dylan, I'm not too sure, but I can't seem to see anything at the moment. Not too sure why.
Okay, let's just check what is happening there. I might have put up the wrong screen for you, Ashley. Apologies. Let's just stop that one. That's the one we needed. So there you go. So now Ashley is able to see what I'm seeing. And currently Sheldon in 2nd place, chasing down Stephen. Stephen having changed his liveries ever so slightly with the baby pink and baby blue, a little bit of purple, but some congestion further down as we have Marshall in the AlphaTauri colours. Then it is Brandon, Stefan, Johan, VDV for Some Stuff Racing with Adrian Bond, you see there in the background there, car number 36 in the orange and black colours. But it is extremely close in the midfield here.
Yeah, Dylan, and then one thing that I did notice on this track is it is exceptionally difficult to overtake. So you'll have a slower driver just ahead, and man oh man, to get past is one hell of a story. And I think that's how I managed to stay in 3rd position, because no matter what Flip did, you could not get past. It was just extremely difficult, and I think that's exactly what's happening here with the guys here sitting just behind Marshall.
Yeah, so we can see that long train. Well, Marshall going just a tad wide there, and there was a couple of places that we were possibly thinking, myself and Stephen were chatting, to do an overtake, but exactly what you're saying, to try and overtake somebody is a whole another thing. We are starting to see some of the Bravo tier supporters coming through. That is Sopbian is how I would read that. 69 saying good luck everyone, go Johan VDV. We then got Anine Galloway, she's saying some stuff racing all the way. Mia Montgomery, she's saying woohoo, go Ethan Alberkoff. Is that a thing? Then we've also got Tamika.
Looks like someone's going to the pits, Dylan, and I think that's Brandon, who's decided to leave this train and go into the pits a little bit early just to get himself a bit of fresh or clean air. And let's just hope that he manages to get a nice clean pit stop
I think that is an absolutely a great idea. We can see how close these guys are. Let's just jump down to Adrian Bond. The two Sim Stuff Racing drivers are very much together. And it does look like Johan has just lost a little bit of time there between himself and Stefan. Johan was closing him down. Oh, apologies. I don't know where that came from, but it felt like it came from the depths of Mordor. But out in front is the battle between Sheldon and Steven. And I must say, I do quite like those colors, the colors that Sheldon is running. Not too sure why, though.
Why? Because of the bit of the green. So it's good to see a battle between the Hondas.
Oh!
And, there goes Steven making a mistake there, getting onto the curb and unsettling the car, and that's how you get past on this track. The only way you really can is by the driver out in front making a little bit of mistake, and with Steven just misjudging his line there, maybe perhaps a bit of a pressure from Sheldon, but that's moved Sheldon up into first position, and Ethan in the background, and looks like he's starting to close on this this battle here as well.
So I'm pretty sure that Sheldon's going to say now's the time to start putting these laps in. I'm pretty sure mistake there by Sheldon. Because I just say that he probably knows that Steven's carrying a little bit of damage. Get those laps in. You can see the little flashing of the lights there, playing those mind games, trying to get into the driver's head. As Steven just backs off just a little bit there, going into turn number 8. It is such a deceiving corner that I never felt comfortable going through there. But I'll tell you what's shaping up to be a great little battle, and this is between Stefan and Marshall. I do see lots and lots of cheers coming for Marshall, chasing Beatrice for the win. And let's go, Marshall. That's really good to see him. And his teammate, Veritorus, or Memo as we know him, he was saying go chasing beavers. So really, really good to see the support coming through for each of the teams. Adrian's having an almighty little battle there behind his teammate. You can see he's still within a second there. And there's Robert Stoltz at the back.
Like Robert's closed up on those two. I know Adrian was trying to get past Johan, but looks like he's backed off. Perhaps team orders come into play there. But that's allowed for Robert now to close that gap. And that's going to be interesting battle to watch through the rest of this race. Oh, there we see somebody going wide there. Not too sure who that was.
That is Neil, newcomer to the series. Newcomer to the series, newcomer to sim racing. So Brandon did make easy work of that. But Neil, keep joining us. Keep getting that lap times in. And soon you'll be mixing it up in front there. But I must say, Steven, even though he's possibly carrying a little bit of damage, not being able to be threatened by Sheldon, but that gap not quite opening. It's kind of just staying right there where it is. Stefan still very much cameraman Tim's lost. There he is. Stefan still chasing down the Chasing Beaver. So Stefan racing for PW1 Racing, so that's Papa Whiskey Racing, in 5th place, doing really, really well. We did see Stefan get himself into some really good positions in some of the previous races, but as he gets closer and closer to the end, just got himself a little bit flustered at Spa, made a mistake going into the hairpin, put it up against the wall, couldn't get the car out of gear. Then the race after that into the pits, got himself a 30-second drive-through penalty, and we saw him then dropping down the order, getting a 160-second penalty, which even though he technically finished in a 5th place, that dropped him down all the way to 8th. A little cutback, Stefan having a look to the inside. That was very close between those two.
Very good driving from both those guys. Stefan just needs to, keep his head down, and this especially with this 45 minutes, it's you have to concentrate all the time, and it's just one silly mistake and it costs you. And we've seen that in the Alpha tiers with the guys speeding in the pits, and now is his opportunity. I mean, he's had some good races the past couple of rounds, and just hasn't been able to finish. And I think if he just manages to keep calm and collected, he will he might have a good chance of winning quite high up here this evening.
Yeah, most definitely. It's just about converting those points now, and keeping your head. So come on, Stefan. I'm pretty sure you can get going there. I do see that Stephen has dropped off the pace there, and he is pulling Ethan with him. Ethan up into third place, and Ethan kept saying it's been a while that he's got himself on the podium. Also had a little bit of bad luck with those drive-through penalties. Adrian Bond has been very vocal about the silly mistakes that he's made. He's also got himself into good positions, and then adding those 30-second penalties. And we've told him the whole week, Adrian, keep the car in first gear until you have completely exited out of the pits.
There we see Stephen going a bit wide, so perhaps just trying a little bit hard, or whoa, and the back, and that's a major spin there by Stephen. He lost the back of the end going through the final corner, and that's putting him in the wall, so he may have picked up some big damage here. So I see, luckily enough, he's really close to the pit lane entrance, so he's gone straight into the pits. But that is going to drop him way down the field. And look at this, Marshall now moves up into third position, and Ethan in second.
Yeah, that's very, very disappointing there for Stephen. I'm almost thinking, I wonder if that's not just that commentator's curse, because we were chatting about it earlier, saying Brandon DeSantos was saying that Stephen was pretty quick. So I asked him, I said, Stephen, are you quick? And he says, well, let's just see, but I am feeling good, I'm feeling comfortable. I was asking him specifically about that last corner, are you flat? And I said, if you get it wrong, it puts you on the outside and you hit that wall, and choose Bob. So Stephen,
That's what it is. Yeah.
I just hope that wasn't my doing.
Well, we did see him have looked like he was battling with the car a bit, and it may have been from hitting that curb earlier. It may have damaged the floor of the vehicle, and may have just upset the balance a bit. So yeah, unfortunately, looks like he's managed to come out the pits and rejoin the circuit, but he's got a mighty job ahead of him. 33 minutes left on the clock. Let's see if he can crawl back at that to the front of the field again.
So what I'm just looking at is that Stephen is 10 seconds behind Brandon DeSantos. So Brandon DeSantos was stuck firmly there in fourth place when he went and pitted. So this would possibly, after the pit stops, put Stephen down in sixth place. It's going to be quite a challenge, because it didn't look like he stayed in the pits long enough to get any of that damage done. So he's going to be battling for the rest of this race.
No, you're absolutely right. That was a very quick pit stop. But up in front, Ethan now with a nice gap of 5 seconds ahead of him to the car. Sheldon absolutely flying around here now. Doesn't have any pressure from behind, so he can just simply drive around like it's a Sunday afternoon. Pretty similar to what Jacques was doing in the Alpha tier, and looking for action shots for the cameras, I would imagine. But it's 32 minutes left of this race. Anything can happen in the pits, and we've seen this from the previous rounds that guys get penalties for speeding or for not releasing that pit limiter, or releasing their pit limiter just too early, and yeah, we don't want to see that tonight. So let's hope that all the guys have a good, clean race.
So I'm just checking my load shedding schedule, and it does seem like I'm fine. We are stage 2.
Now's the time to check.
No. I was just wondering to see whether it was still on. But because there's no load shedding at the moment, and we're currently stage 2. We did have our load shedding nice and early this morning, so guys, I am good.
Well, that's good to hear. Otherwise, you would be ready to kickstart that generator supplied by CT Auto Electrical, sorry. So big shout out to Craig for helping us out there, getting a generator for Dylan, just in case those load shed moments. So guys, if you want to find out more about our sponsor CT Auto Electrical, please check the details in the description below.
So Johan fighting with Stefan. Really great to see the Sim Stuff Racing taking on a PW1, and really close. It's such a difficult track, but Johan is looking for that opportunity. He went a little bit wide up into turn number 8, but now they'll head down the hill into turn 9. A little bit of flashing of the lights. That's those little mind games. And now into turn 10, and such a crazy corner, and you actually don't understand how much speed you can actually carry through there. When I was practicing in the Honda,
There he goes.
ooh,
Looks like he was going for an opportunity there, but it's interesting how Johan's managed to catch Stefan so quickly. So Stefan must have made a mistake somewhere, because that gap was at least 2 or 3 seconds, and it's closed right down now. So perhaps Johan finding a little bit grip and through the middle part of this race session.
yeah, so we haven't quite hit that halfway mark. Maybe that fuel balance is just coming nicely to him, as it looks like Stefan's actually closing up on Marshall. So there's your 3rd, 4th and 5th place driver in the background there. That's Robert. So he's actually making headway here as well, because he was a little bit further down the order. But it does seem like while now Brandon and Stephen have pitted, so they might be further up the order. Brandon now coming down out of the last corner. He's going to cross the start-finish line. So there is a couple of seconds. But Ethan doing really well here in 2nd place. But 7.1 seconds to our race leader, followed by Marshall. That's 12 seconds, but look at that. So now we've got Stefan right behind Marshall. So it looks like the front engine cars are starting to come together, but we did see how strong Sarge was later on in the race, and I do want to just keep my eye out on Marshall, because even though he might lose some positions here, that this car might still come back to him later on.
Yeah, it was quite funny for a moment there. Johan was all on the back of Stefan, flashing lights, you know, trying to give him the hurry up, and it looked like Stefan just suddenly found a bit of pace, and now he's challenging for 3rd position. So very interesting race there. Maybe Stefan was just caught napping there and got the hurry up from Jan, and suddenly he's right up there.
100%. Sometimes that is what you need, is a chasing driver just to give you some fire up your backside, and away you go.
Up the coconut, didn't?
Did I say backside? Of the vehicle. I was talking about the car.
I know what you mean.
I didn't say your, I said the.
Sure.
Coconuts, it is then. So there is the close-up shots of car number 23. That is Ethan. Steph.
It's been a long night.
Yes, it has. Lots of incredible racing action that has happened here. The gap, I want to see what the difference is. So that was 10 seconds. So Steven's also starting to catch up onto the back of Brandon. So from 10 seconds, that is now down to 8. But Marshall now really holding his own here up in 3rd place. Getting this relentless pressure now from Stefan in 4th place.
Yeah, and suddenly these two guys actually looks like they're pulling away from Johan. So a good battle going on here. But it's interesting to see that Stephen is catching Brandon, which tells me that he possibly didn't pick up all that much damage. And that's why we saw him going to the pits and coming out fairly quickly.
So just got a message from Daniel the War Machine Morales saying, "Code coconuts, we are code coconuts." Thank you, Daniel. Yes, I do remember now. So that pressure has just eased up just a little bit. And now you can see they're just under a second. Marshall now being able to open that gap. Stephen now finding another 0.6 of a seconds between himself and the 7th place Brandon DeSantos. And Adrian Bond, he's still down in 10th place, having pitted. And Neil, newcomer to the series and racing, Neil, unfortunately, cameraman Tim sometimes does get himself a little bit confused. Obviously, wasn't sure who we're talking about, but there we go. We now have you in screen and are being chased down by, I think that is Ethan. Indeed.
Yeah, it's quite possible. So let's hope that it looks like Neil has seen the blue flags and got and given Ethan right of way. Just looking at that gap between Sheldon and Ethan, it has increased from 5 seconds now to 7 seconds. So Sheldon increasing that lead ever so slightly lap after lap, and finds himself 7 and almost 8 seconds up the road.
Ooh, there was a mistake there by Stefan. He went way too deep there into turn number 12.
Yeah, you can see he's lost a little bit of time there.
And Johan VDV is caught up 0.5 of a second there, so definitely that mistake has cost him.
I wonder if Johan is just perhaps nursing those tyres, and because I noticed towards the end of the race those tyres went off very quickly and it started getting very slippery.
So I do want to give Agent Bond a little bit of a congratulations. He has come out of the pits without a slowdown or a drive-through penalty, so good job there, AD. It seems that our coaching through the week has worked, and a big thank you to the soccer community. Oh man.
Oh, looks like somebody went wide there. So I saw a puff of dust.
Where's
And,
Marshall? Marshall
yeah,
went
looks
off.
like Marshall went off.
Oh no. Well,
So
that's
really.
that's good news for Stefan, because that's now him in 4th place. In 3rd place, Johan in 4th. And where is Marshall? So Marshall's now coming out of turn number 11, where Johan and Stefan will be entering into 12. So that's about 6 seconds. There we go. Yes, how's that for a guess? 6 seconds is the gap there.
Well, that's worse than lucky. But you know what? To be fair, it doesn't look like he was very comfortable with the car, right from the beginning. So perhaps the tires are just getting worse and worse as he's carrying on now, halfway through the race, and he just made a little mistake there. Maybe gone a bit of wide, got into the marbles, and it looked like he's gone off. But I see in the background there he's going to head for the
take
pits.
the pits. That's a good call. Rather get in, take that pit stop, have that little bit of break, recompose yourself, and then get out there. So that gap between Brandon and Steven is kind of just staying there now. That's 8.5 seconds. And you heard
We've just hit halfway.
that's a confirmation coming from Jeff there. So we'll just run through all the drivers. So this is Sheldon out in front. 8.7 seconds is the gap he has over Ethan in 2nd place. Then Stefan is in 3rd place currently, but knowing that Marshall, Brandon and Steven. So Brandon is out ahead of Marshall. So this is now the Marshall going into turn number 4. Brandon's already up at turn number 9, so that is quite a substantial gap there. So I do think that Brandon Santos is still up for a podium position here.
Yeah, that gap hasn't really changed between himself and Steven.
So Steven has found another 0.3 of a second there.
Oh wow.
But,
Just you prove me wrong. Well done.
but 0.3 of a second over the next 10 laps is still not enough, Stephen. Oh!
What was that? Looked like Johan got caught out by Ethan going to the pits there. He was trying to catch a slipstream and
No, I think he went up the back of Stefan. And Stefan got into the brakes there to go into the pits, and Johan unfortunately collected him.
Oh my word. So I hope he hasn't picked up too much damage on the front of that Nissan, because that looked like a mighty shunt. And poor Stefan, hopefully that hasn't damaged the back of that Lexus too badly. I see he has gone in the pits now. Parked just ahead of the safety car there.
So Stefan is still in the pit, so that is definitely a damage that is getting fixed. So we did see the drop of the engine, so he's away. So that was probably about 10 seconds of damage that he's now had to get repaired.
Not too bad actually, considering that was quite a big shunt.
So that is quite interesting because Ethan was technically in second place behind Sheldon, but now having come out the pits, Brandon DeSantos is now technically in second place with Steven in third.
I did notice that Ethan was in the pits for quite some time, so perhaps he forgot to, or maybe he's changed his tyres, taking a different strategy to push a little bit harder towards the end of the race. Time will tell. But with 19 minutes left on the clock, Sheldon still to pit, as well as Johan VDV, who's now in second place, and Brandon DeSantos has now found himself in third. So a good drive and strategy from him. And actually only 10 seconds behind Johan VDV, so technically he's in second position at the moment. And Steven
has found another second. So Steven's on a charge now. It looks like that the balance of that GTR is now coming back, because if you find a second on one lap, that is pretty quick.
But now it's jumped to 10 seconds. So as you said that, Dylan, you must have made a mistake somewhere. And,
no, that's Brandon to Johan. But yes, so there's 8.7. So that was another 1.7 seconds that he's now lost. So you were right in the end as well. So there's Ethan, spent a lot of time there in second place, and after the pits, fortunately down in fifth place.
Yeah, but don't count him out yet, so there's still a long race ahead. And if those guys out in front who have pitted, I'm talking about Brandon and probably Steven, they most likely didn't change their tyres. So if Ethan did change his tyres, which I assume, and I'm pretty sure that he did, he's going to have much better grip towards the end of this race. And
very deep.
Having said that, has to stay on the track.
You know, for you to finish first you must finish.
Absolutely.
So first place driver is Sheldon. He's out and away. A good couple of seconds ahead of Johan VDB, who's currently in second. But just remember, both car number 79, car number 76 still need to pit. Then Brandon DeSantos in third, with Steven in fourth. That's Ethan in fifth place, followed by Marshall in 10th. Stefan in 7th place. Robert Stoltz, he's in 8th. Adrian Bond, he's in 9th place, with Neil in 10. And I think just Neil's just happy to be racing, happy to be circulating. So really, really awesome to see.
Oh, for sure. And guys, if you want to get involved, please come check out our website and get all the details from there. Sign up, become a member, and let's see what you can do against these SARCO drivers.
So just some interesting information that's coming through. So JP Swat, he's on the YouTube channel, and he's saying that it was lap number 13 was the pit strategy for PW1 Racing all the way through, and senior, so Ethan, he actually did do a tire change, so spot on there, Ashley. So we'll are hoping to see whether Ethan is able to get those tires to work and come back later on in the races. Neil catches a bit of the curb on the exit, but he has been able to keep that car going in a straight line. So 5 point.
For a moment then I thought he was going to the pits, but he looks like he got it all sideways.
So Brandon 5.7 seconds behind Johan, and I just want to see what the distance between Johan and Sheldon is, because that time hasn't refreshed in a while now. It does seem like it is taking way longer than it should. So 3.5. Come on, Johan. Where's your split time?
Yeah, there's the gap, and it's slowly decreasing. That's between Brandon and Johan. And Johan still needs to go for that pit stop, so I wonder if he's going to leave it a little bit later.
7.3 is now the gap between Stephen and Brandon.
So I think Brandon will probably be wondering when Johan's going to go into the pits, because he will not want to be caught behind him, especially if he's catching at this pace. The last thing you want to be doing is fighting with drivers on a total different strategy to you, and that could definitely ruin your race.
But we have discussed this before, is that if that guy is behind you, he still has every right to fight for that position.
No, absolutely, but yeah, 14 minutes left on the clock. I suppose the gap between him and Sheldon still has to pit as well.
Yeah, but the reason it kept taking so long is because Sheldon looks like he's a lap ahead of Johan.
Oh wow. Ooh, there we see Brandon taking a very different line there onto the grass, and that's not going to help his cause here, especially with Steven closing that gap ever so closely. That gap now down to 7 seconds. So I mean, it's been jumping between 8 and 7. It just depends where the drivers are making mistakes, I guess.
And as it happens, there you go, 6.9.
Yeah. So they're pretty much on the same pace at this pace. I mean, at this stage.
So 13 minutes left, and we do have Brandon for the Rough Riders. Car number 27 is closing up onto the back of the second place Johan VDV, who does still need to pit. So that was 39 seconds was the distance there between the second place and Sheldon, who's out in front. So there we go. So Sheldon now driving straight through our safety car. We'll just see when he starts moving, because Brandon DeSantos is coming out of the last corner.
Yeah, but still a lap down. That's a massive gap that he has.
No, but they'll cross the line now.
Oh.
There we go. So there's the gap, 33 seconds.
It looks like Johan's going to the pits. Or he's made a mistake. That's
No,
yes,
Johan has gone into the pits. But that is definitely not 33 seconds, because there's Sheldon there. Now going into 13, and there's Brandon going into 13, with Stephen going into 13. So that is the battle for first, second, and third place.
So it looks like the strategy of Brandon going to the pits early has worked out, coming just out 3 seconds behind the leader. And I'm sure Sheldon will be noticing that gap's suddenly now down to 3 seconds. But still 11 and a half minutes left of this race, so
And Johan is still in the pit, so it looks like he's also making some changes there. Because Marshall's gone by, Stefan's gone by, Robert's gone by. Here comes Adrian out of the last corner, and Johan has still not moved.
So I would imagine he picked up some heavy damage from that incident with Stefan.
So now Johan will exit out of the pits, but he's only unfortunately going to rejoin down in 9th position. 5.5 seconds is the gap for Steven behind Brandon DeSantos. 3.7 is the gap between Brandon and the race leader. There he is, and there's Steven in the background. So amazing to see that we just about got 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the one shot.
And it's nice to see that with all the different manufacturers. We've got a Honda out in front leading in 2nd position, the Lexus, and in 3rd, the Nissan.
It is really good to see the mix there, and it just shows that you don't necessarily have to have the car that you want, but if you just get the right setup on the right track, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
So 5.3 seconds is now the gap. So that is coming down a 1/10 of a second just about every sector now. But a nice little battle happening here between Robert and Stefan. Robert has had a pretty quiet race. He did have a little off earlier on, but using as much of that outside curb as possible coming out of turn number 15. Now down the start finish line, I'm pretty sure that Lexus does have the straight line speed over this GTR. So Brandon now a closed up gap that is now from 6 seconds, it is down to 5 seconds.
Yeah, that gap getting ever so closer and closer. And looks like Sheldon just increased his lead a bit, so got up to pace again and just opened up. But you can see Steven in the background there. Sees his opportunity now.
Look at that. Another 0.4 of a second is the advantage that Steven got on that lap over Brandon.
I'll tell you, it's such an awesome feeling when you see the car in front of you getting closer and closer.
100%. So still a good race happening here between Robert and Stefan, fighting for 6th and 7th place. And oh, that was Stefan getting it very wrong into turn 12. So Robert might have a little look on the inside here, but that's a very dangerous place to be, because if you don't get that right drive through that corner,
and as you said that, I must say that Stefan has had a very unlucky race with 2 drivers driving into him in this race, so he can't be a very happy man at this stage.
well, I'm sure he won't be happy with the result, but he must definitely be happy with the driving performance. It did look like going through turn number 14, Robert was way too tight to try and take that entry. The car understeered and unfortunately pushed Stefan off there. 3.6 seconds, so another couple of tenths of a second Steven has been able to take out of Brandon Santos in front of him. But now 7.1. So Sheldon out in front is definitely making his moves here. And Marshall down in 10th place. Pity there for him, because he really was doing well out in front.
No, he's actually made a good comeback and moved up to 5th position again after those couple of mistakes that he made. But seems to have gathered his composure.
There's been a little something there. Could check that. 3.2 seconds now is the gap between Brandon and Sheldon.
Okay.
6.5 minutes left.
So a slight mistake there by, looked like Sheldon. He's lost a bit of time. So that gap exactly the same what it was when Sheldon came out the pits.
There's 2.8. That time is still dropping. Stephen 4.8. So he's lost some ground. And I wonder whether
This is where the Lexus seemed to be a lot stronger, was towards the end of the race. I noticed it just seems to have a lot more grip than what especially with the Nissan, and I wonder if that's now the reason where Brandis has found a bit of pace compared to the other drivers whose tires will be starting to get a little bit worn now, and they're starting to battle a bit. I wish we could see the times, and then we could really see, you know, what these guys are doing lap for lap.
yeah, I would love to see that too. So since the pit stops, Ethan has had a very a quiet race down in 4th place. Marshall in 5th. He does have Neil in front of him. There's Robert, unfortunately taking out Stefan going into turn number 14. Adrian in 7th position. You can just see that Nissan and the suspension's working there with him going into 12 and then 13. Stefan down in 8th place, and he's got Johan VDV right behind him. Oh, Johan, lots of curb there for him. And there's Neil in 10th position. Oh, cameraman Tim caught him. Awesome.
So that gap is pretty much unchanged between Sheldon and Brandon, staying around the 3-second mark. So Sheldon's managed. Oh, there we see somebody's in the wall. Then I wonder, is that Adrian?
I'm gonna check right now. I did. No, that's
That
not
was
Adrian.
Johan.
So that's Johan.
So Johan obviously catching it. A similar mistake we saw from Steven earlier in the race.
So it
Perhaps
looks like
coming around the corner and just getting the curb and going into the wall there.
it looks like the Nissan does not like that curb on the outside.
I'm trying to work out who that is behind Brandon. It must have been a slower car getting overtaken there. Probably Stefan.
Yes, it must be Stefan. Because yeah, there's Stephen that's just gone past Stefan now. So that gap 3.1 seconds between Stephen and Brandon Santos. Nearly 5 seconds between Brandon and Sheldon.
Perhaps maybe that was what held up Sheldon, was just trying to get past Stefan.
So just some news that we're getting here from JP. The suspension on Stefan's car is done. So he won't be driving much more with a lot of pace. And there's Johan, 30-second stop and go for him. And we saw him going into the pits after losing it coming out of the last corner. So he will have to go and do another pit stop.
Oh, wow. It's going from bad to worse. You can see in the background there's Stefan all over the show. That car just weaving across the track. And I think if this was a real race, he would be given the flag to go into the pits for sure.
But you drive it till it's...
Whoa! Till you break it.
till you break it. Yeah. Oh dear. So 1.5 minutes left of this race. 25 laps have passed. So once Sheldon crosses the start-finish line, that will be the last lap.
Stephen not able to close that gap anymore. It seems like it's stayed around that 4-second mark, 3.5 second now. But running out of time to catch Brandon out in front. But a good race nevertheless from all these drivers this evening, especially our lead at the moment, Sheldon, with a 7-second lead over second man Brandon DeSantos.
Would you agree that this is possibly the most challenging track in the tracks that are available?
It's certainly one of the most physical in terms of.
It just doesn't feel like you get a gap. It's just one corner to the next corner. It almost reminds me of the Hungaroring because it's exactly like that. You're always changing something. You're always moving the car to another position. It's not like on Paul Ricard is that you take a corner and then you set yourself up and you can fidget for 27 minutes while you're going down that back straight. And then you turn in. It must be so busy.
Absolutely, and I can imagine for a Formula One driver, the G-forces going through those corners all the time, it must be challenging. And hopefully we'll see a Dutch Grand Prix this year on the Formula One calendar. I know there was meant to be one last year, but because of the COVID-19, it never took place. And I'm looking forward to see the Formula One cars on this track and see what the drivers have to say.
Oh, Stephen went way too deep there. Is that he had an opportunity because even though Brandon went deep, Stephen could have tucked it up on the inside. Someone's gone off there. I saw there was somebody out on the side of the track. It was Stefan that's gone off. So I think that he's called it a day. That car. Whoa! So there is the race winner. He will cross the line. That is Sheldon. A very, very good drive there for him.
Oh, look at that
side
battle.
by side.
Oh my word! You can't get any closer.
Is Stephen going to get him
Who's
to
gonna
the line?
take it? Yeah, it looks like Stephen.
Stephen got it. He must have.
Jeez, that was unbelievably close, but it looked like
No.
Brandon.
It's got Brandon as finishing ahead there. Wow, 0.041 of a second. That is absolutely incredible. Talk about bringing it down to the wire. And there comes Ethan in fourth place.
Are you kidding me? 0 point for the last 3 laps. I had to put it on that. What the steel map for?
Jeez, I thought we had. It almost looked like a tie there for a second. It was pretty close between those two drivers. Brandon DeSantos just getting over the line in time, and Stephen 400ths of a second.
That's incredible. That was a drag race to the end. And there's Marshall coming home in fifth place. We then got Robert down in sixth.
Nice racing, James. Nice racing.
That was awesome.
And then AD in seventh place. He'll cross the line together with Neil. And there's Johan down in 10th position. So I think let's get the guys into the Discord. Let's have a chat with them.
If the finish line was a little bit further down, we would have passed me.
I see you typing there. Thank you so much, Ashley. Let's just remind the guys that it is code coconuts that we can hear there. We can hear the coconut words in the background there.
Thank you, Papa Whiskey, for letting us pass.
Yeah, I know what Brandon DeSantos is.
DOS.
Yeah.
BD. That's him. So guys, we have just invited our drivers to come into the pits. What's wrong with me? I'm looking at the pit lane to come into our Discord chat. So we have Stephen that's joined us, just waiting for Brandon DeSantos as well as Sheldon.
Just give me 2 minutes. I'll be with you now, though.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
We ain't got 2 minutes.
No, I had to put it on the top. Jeez. It got so hot here. There we go. What's happening, boys?
So you weren't live just yet, but we're crossing through live now. There you go, Stephen. Great that you got your top on. Let's start off with you, Stephen. A freaking amazing drag race to the end there. Just missing out by 0.041 of a second, which could have put you higher up, but a huge mistake in turn number 13, hitting that curb and throwing you off, and basically handed the first place back to Sheldon.
Yeah, that turn 13, and then I think it was turn 15, if I was correct.
And we actually
where
spoke
I
about
lost
it, but I said to you, got to be careful, got to make sure you get a late entry, otherwise you hit the curb on the outside, and you go and you do that. And I just put my hands on my head and go, did I do that to you? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. I was just pushing too hard to try and get away. And yeah, that those two mistakes cost me badly. But thank goodness that happened so close to the pits. So I just thought, you know what, now's the time to pit. But waited patiently out, try and just catch up as much as you can. And then I saw Brandon was in front of me the whole time. He was like 8.5 seconds, 7.7, and he kept that gap quite nicely. And then it came down to that last lap where he said he started running out of fuel. So 0.41, I was like, what a race. I couldn't ask for a better race. To race against Brandon, Chappie, two great guys. The rest of the field, thanks to them, it wasn't for them, wouldn't be a race. But yes, for them moving out the way, making a race interesting, and not battling so much on the track, it was phenomenal. And I have to say thank you to Team Mamba again, Marius Jakes, and Mr. Flatout himself. What a setup! Yeah, Marius, he was the brains behind this one today. He sat with me, we did laps and we compared times, and I knew I could have won this one. I threw it away. Sorry, Marius. I'll make it up next week.
100%. Stephen, thank you so much. Let's go to you, Brandon. Very, very tight in the midfield there in the first couple of laps, and we saw that you decided to go and pit. Was that part of your strategy, get out of the traffic and just go and put in some lap times there?
Yeah, I just wanted to get out because I had Marshall in front of me, and he was a bit slow in certain sections compared to me, so I was like, I had nowhere to go. I had someone touching me almost every braking zone. I was like, nah, let me rather go into the pits, try to get a bit of clean air, and see if I can put down the lap times to catch the front cars.
No, absolutely amazing. Awesome. Great drive there for you, and just managing to take that second place. It looked like on the stream, it looked like Stephen actually got ahead, but once the final positions had been locked in, we couldn't believe that it was 0.041 of a second. Absolutely crazy. Let's go to you, Sheldon.
Just before the finish.
100%, man. 100%. Unlucky there, Stephen. Great drive there, Brandon. Let's go to you, Sheldon. Got behind Stephen. Made a mistake, and I'm sure that you were eyes wide open and just put your head down and made sure that you made this one count.
Yeah, it was actually quite a close race for me. Qualifying was so close as well. So yeah, I don't think position is a very good position to start. On the starts, I hit a lot of those marbles on the side, so Stephen got ahead of me. And by then I thought, yeah, I'm just gonna probably stay behind him, and he made a mistake. And from then I knew that he might try. And then only for me to go into the pits and once again put the car into reverse. So I lost quite a bit of time over there. And then I forgot to dial in my tire pressures for the change, so I was sitting at 26.9 for most of my second stint. I think I was about a second lower than my first. So on those two things, the pit stop and my tire pressure was quite a bit of thing. But anyway, good. Well done to the guys who finished on the podium. And once again, I think Christmas present.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheldon, all I can say is take it and run, man.
Yeah, I suppose you got to be there to take the chance.
Exactly.
Whatever.
So, guys, thank you very much. Thanks for joining. Thank you for really making it such an interesting race. Thank you to all our viewers that do come and watch. It is absolutely fantastic to see all those comments coming through. To Stephen, Brandon, and Sheldon, well done to you guys once again. Ashley, before I do my close off, I'll hand over to you. You can just do the little thing that you do, say thank you to Craig, and then I'll sign us out.
Absolutely. A big shout out to Craig from CT Auto Electrical. Thanks for the sponsorship this season. And guys, if you want to get involved, please check out our Facebook page. Check out the races live on YouTube. And you can go register on our website at sarcoracing.co.za. Join up, become a member. And guys, there's also merchandise. If you want a cool cap like this, you know, want to be cool like us,
Or like
grab
this.
yourself a cap online. We now have a net cash payment system so that you can pay directly with a credit card, and those orders will come through to Dylan or myself, and we'll ship it courtesy of Deliver My Parcel.
No, your parcel.
My parcel.
No, your parcel.
Okay, deliver your parcel.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much. We're looking forward to the final round of our Monday night Vintage Touring Car Series. That's going to be an absolute cracker. We do have 2 weeks left of our Assetto Corsa. So next week, Monday, will be the last Monday of the season, where then we'll have a break just to catch up on the Thursday. And then we've got some really interesting stuff happening after the break. Looking forward to dropping those in the next couple of weeks of what's coming. So do stay tuned. And all I can say, guys, is until then, keep racing. And thanks for watching. Yos.
Sweet boys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.